because that's how you get laid and eventually pop a baby, or maybe even doesn't. Well, I'll be damned. Men are interested in things, women are interested in humans. I saw girls' football practice the other day, and it got me thinking, how come we're not that fond of women's football? And as we're on the subject, I would like to present somewhat equivalent of something that men do. Most of our existence can in one way or another be tied to our sexuality. Everything that we do, that goes to the activities that we engage in. Subconsciously, we have a perception of something that we do being more feminine or masculine because we don't want to make fool of ourselves, which boils down to projecting something that we aren't and sending false signals to the surroundings on what we represent. This is a core principle to why children, if given opportunity to play with whatever they want, are inclined to go for stereotypically gender normative choices. Boys play with cars and guns, girls play with dolls and cooking sets. It stems from one simple fact: men are interested in things, whereas women are interested in humans. Hence why men are inclined to fix, build, invent things, whereas women are inclined to build bonds, nurture and spread emotions. I'm generalizing, of course, but that's what we have to do. A firmware of a person doesn't mean that you cannot rewrite it through social conditioning. As men take on to the journey to pour their creativity into things, they have to become proficient and even masters of their work. And what's a better idea to fulfill that need than a good old competition?
Well, that was cute. Probably in record time. Yeah.
It serves as a catalyst for honing your craft and becoming ever so good with whatever you do, becoming good at your skill.
Problem is, that's not the course.
That's not the course?
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over to the real course, and if you beat me over there, not only are you on the team, but I won't fuck with you anymore, and I'll call you by your real name.
Well, I'll be damned. Working with things, cultivating skills to better handle those things are like bread and butter fusing into a perfect sandwich of mastery. This is the reason why a concept of skill competition is heavily promoted by masculinity. Competence is a single word that describes all the traits men need to cultivate and adapt throughout their life. Why, you may ask? Because that's how you get laid and eventually pop a baby, or maybe even doesn't. Competence summarizes all those things that men can get throughout a long period of time so that they can become attractive in the eyes of the opposite sex. Knowledge and wisdom, competence. Courting and seducing, competence. Bettering your looks, physique and body and health, competence. So for girls, women, to do sports on a competitive level, it loses that gaining sexual advantage, thus succeeding to procreate point. Now, nowhere did I say that women shouldn't do sports. On the contrary, everyone should do sports. The more, the better. What I'm finding a little bit weird is the competitive side of this subject. It sounds kind of purposeless. And mind you, it's not a subjective point. I'm just a messenger conveying what the general public thinks about the matter. I'm the interpreter of non-vocalized opinions, if you must. A woman's sexual equity lies in her looks, which you cannot improve by competition. Rather, presentation, hence pageants, and maybe some nurturing shows, like cooking shows or home makeover, where we got it twisted nowadays after decades of propaganda and indoctrination, thinking that all of us are equal, and what's good for one gender is of course prima, super, splendid for the other gender. The funny thing is that even if many think like that on a conscious level, they still act as per biology on a subconscious level, without even thinking. If some of you watching this video has ever dated a feminist woman, you know what I'm talking about. Going back to the second part of this title, beauty and men. Golly, the amount of grooming tips and beauty products that we have nowadays for men. Everything from hair and skin to crotch to toenails. And then they have the guts to complain about women being too cruel and insensitive, unreasonable and almost savage. Clean your own room first and foremost, before blaming on others about your incapability to socialize and gain any points from ladies. You have to understand what both genders are bringing to the table. And for men, it's not about looks. Although it's important, it's not the core of masculinity. The other day, I've heard young chaps screaming at each other because one of them messed up the hairstyle of the other one. My hair, be careful with my hair, you'll ruin it. I had a homie, and every time we walked by a window or anything else that could reflect his image, he would always try to straighten his hair and make sure that it looks exactly like he wants it to look like. Almost to a point of obsessive compulsive disorder, being anxious and insecure. So many different hair products that we have nowadays. Clays, putties, waxes, gels, pomades. So much focus on the looks. So little focus on the finding purpose and direction in life.
The image of the modern man is evolving. In Asia, male grooming has become a booming market. These new metrosexuals are now embracing more elaborate makeup rituals than ever before, and brands are tapping into this growing influential demographic.
And of course, I understand why, because consumerism, feminization, yada yada yada, we have talked about it. Then we have clothes and styles, more chic, extravagant, eye-catching, colorful, feminine than ever before. The biggest channels on this platform are exactly about that. You know the ones that I'm talking about. Sure, you could say that they're veterans of the platform, but still, same goes here, men focusing on beauty. Because it doesn't give them so much sexual advantage. Rather, too much of it retracts from it. Because women understand that a man who takes care of his looks more than she does, big no-no. I guess more young men are interested in those kind of stuff. We are driven by our sexual urges every step we take. Even if we would like to pretend that we have become too civilized and transcended beyond that kind of a primal attitude. Ultimately, you do as you please. But before doing that, ask yourself, whose idea is it? Is it yours? Or is it the idea of the machinery? I know you love the topics on men and women and the reason why we come together. To know more about that, click on this playlist. Great one. What women's sports do you follow? Tell me in the comment section. But for now, Hossein out.